Canelo done something that is amazing when Canelo was able to go to light heavyweight and become light heavyweight champion. Something that I didn't even see him going up that heavy, and he did that. Canelo lands good punches. I think Canelo could hurt Crawford. Crawford's, first time in that division and jumping two divisions.
No way that Terence Crawford, being to me my favorite fighter, I mean the best fighter pound for pound, can be Canelo. I mean, a 147 pounder moving up to 68.
Floyd Mayweather breaks it down simply: Terence Crawford will never beat Canelo Alvarez because of the weight factor. He explains that moving up several divisions isn't just about skill, it's about whether a fighter can handle the size, power, and endurance of naturally bigger men at the elite level. Canelo, Mayweather points out, has spent his career battling and beating larger opponents. Crawford, by contrast, is stepping into completely new territory. And while his technical brilliance is undeniable, Floyd believes the physical gap will be too much to bridge. For him, size matters, and against Canelo, Crawford won't be able to overcome it.
Because of the weight disadvantage. I can't go all the way up to 180 or 190 pounds.
Robert Garcia stresses that Terence Crawford's biggest obstacle isn't skill, it's size. Moving up to super middleweight, Garcia explains, is unlike Crawford's previous jumps in weight. This is Canelo Alvarez's natural division, the place where he's sharpened his craft for years against bigger, stronger men. Crawford, on the other hand, has yet to prove that he can carry his speed, sharpness, and conditioning at this weight. According to Garcia, Crawford's body simply hasn't had the time to fully adapt, and that lack of explosiveness could cost him. While Bud's brilliance across multiple divisions is undeniable, stepping into Canelo's backyard puts him at a serious disadvantage. Against a seasoned champion who thrives at 168, even the smallest drop in sharpness could be the difference between victory and defeat.
Two divisions where he only had one fight at 154 and didn't look his best either. So there's a lot of questions, about that. And that's why a lot of people think Canelo is going to knock out Crawford. But I'm probably one of the only ones that I do give Crawford a chance. Yeah. I think Crawford could pull it off. Crawford is very talented. He's very fast. He's very smart in the ring. So I think a perfect fight, Crawford could pull off a decision.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think he could win a decision. I don't pick him. I wouldn't put my money on him winning because it's a very dangerous, risky fight, especially with Canelo being so strong. But Canelo's last few performances, he's looked slow, flat-footed, looking for one punch at a time. And if that's the Canelo that fights Crawford, Crawford could win a decision. Crawford could outbox him, could outsmart him, could land 3-4 punch combinations and move and win a decision. So do I give Crawford a chance? 100% think Crawford could pull it off. Would I put my money on it? Probably not, but I do give him a chance.
Yeah, good stuff. Look, Robert, appreciate you taking time to speak to me. I appreciate you letting me in the gym today. Always a pleasure. And hopefully be catching up sometime soon.
Thanks
appreciate
for coming.
it. Thank you.
Very
Cheers.
much.
Showbiz The Adult highlights the monumental stakes of a Crawford vs. Canelo showdown. He argues that if Crawford can overcome Canelo's size and power, his legacy would skyrocket, placing him firmly alongside Floyd Mayweather in the all-time great discussion. Defeating a fighter of Canelo's stature would cement Crawford as the premier pound-for-pound star of his generation, silencing any lingering doubts about his resume. However, Showbiz makes it clear that such a victory would not automatically surpass Mayweather's legacy. Floyd's undefeated record and dominance across multiple eras remain unmatched. Instead, Crawford would stand directly behind him in boxing's historical hierarchy. Still, the chance to rise into such rarefied status is what makes this fight one of the most defining moments in modern boxing.
This is insane. If you were to beat Canelo, Terence Crawford, at that point, pound for pound, right under Floyd. Wherever you got Floyd, I put whatever you got him, Terence Crawford is right behind him. Unless you got him first. Okay, how about me? Because I don't have Floyd in my top 10. I have Pacquiao over Floyd. So I know somebody's about to get moist, but I would put Terence Crawford, man, shit. man, that's old school. That's Henry Armstrong, Sam Langford. Like that's old. That's Joe Gans and Barbados Joe Walcott and Barbados Joe, not Jersey. I'm Barbados. Like that's old school accomplishments. Man, that's throwback. I would have to assess that. 3-time undisputed in the 4-belt era, and against who? Yo, that I don't think Pacquiao would have I don't think he achieved anything in a single fight that would be greater than Terence Crawford jumping up 3 weight classes and beating Canelo. I don't think Pacquiao achieved anything in a single fight greater than that. Not in a single fight. Beating Cotto, I still, because Cotto was weight drained. Has Floyd done anything? Well, he beat Canelo.
Jeff Mayweather reacted sharply to Canelo Alvarez's claim that Terence Crawford is better than Floyd. According to Jeff, that statement has less to do with reality and more to do with Canelo trying to elevate himself by comparison. Since Canelo lost convincingly to Floyd, suggesting that Crawford is superior gives him an indirect excuse for that defeat. Jeff stresses that while Crawford is an exceptional talent, he hasn't yet reached Floyd's level of dominance or accomplishments. Mayweather points to Floyd's undefeated record and his unmatched ability to consistently dismantle elite opponents as proof that the comparison is premature. In his view, no fighter should be measured against Floyd until they've achieved much more, Crawford included.
Well, also if we remember, Canelo that time was a razor-thin decision. Floyd won, majority decision. C.J. Ross had it with what a lot of people had as a draw. And then the other 2 judges scored it for Floyd, of course.
Yeah, nobody had it.
And that was a Floyd at the top of his game with a very green Canelo with very little experience, and he still took him, into deep waters. So
what was Canelo? What, 20-something? 20 what? 23, 25?
Yeah, he was. Very, very young in the game,
very
obviously.
Young. Yeah, very young. He had more fights than Floyd, and he lost.
Yeah,
to a man that was 30-something years old, 36.
But Floyd was clearly at the top of his career, and Canelo had fought a lot of people. But
How are you at the top of your career in your prime? You in your prime? You ain't in your prime when you're at 36. That's not your prime.
Did he lose? 20s. I mean,
your prime is in your 20s.
It's different for different people.
Yeah, okay. Well, and that's why Canelo is saying what he's saying.
Want to
make himself look like he did something.
Joel Diaz flat out dismisses Crawford's chances, pointing to the massive size gap between the two. He reminds fans that Canelo has gone toe-to-toe with heavy hitters like Gennady Golovkin, absorbing punches from one of the sport's hardest punchers without breaking. If Canelo could withstand that kind of firepower, Diaz questions how Crawford, who has only fought men closer to his natural size, could truly hurt him. For Diaz, Crawford's skill set, while elite, simply can't bridge the physical divide. He stresses that fighters often underestimate the toll of moving up until they actually feel the power of naturally bigger opponents. In this case, Diaz believes Canelo's resilience and raw strength form a mountain Crawford won't be able to climb.
Ask him who Skull is, they won't even know who he is. I don't even know who he is, but they chose him for a reason, right? A guy with a good record. But
he's a champion in
he's a champion.
He's got the kind of the other stone that's out there that Canelo needs to connect. Again, the fight against Terence Crawford.
It's a fight for Canelo to win. Simple as that. That's what I can tell you.
Then in September, if Canelo wins, he's got Terence Crawford waiting in the wings.
There is no way that Terence Crawford, being to me my favorite fighter, the best fighter pound for pound, can beat Canelo. A 147-pounder moving up to 68. He can only maybe go 2-3 rounds, good 2-3 rounds, and then Canelo hits him and he hurts him. Canelo's being hit by Triple G, the hardest hitter in the division, and never hurt him. But Canelo will hit Crawford and he'll hurt him. Let's put it this way. You remember the fight of Benavidez and Demetrius Andrade?
Yes.
Demetrius Andrade was a great fighter. Nobody wanted to fight him at 54. He moved to 60. Fight 1 or 2. Nobody wanted to fight him at 60. So what did he do? He moved up to 68 because there was nothing for him to fight Benavidez, a big fighter like that. Look what he did in the first early round. Demetrius Andrade was in control. He was doing great. But once that weight starts kicking in, it takes over. There is no way that Crawford can beat Canelo. I mean, Turkey on the sheet. It's a big fan of Terence Crawford. Who wants to give him a good payday? And simple as that. That's all it is, man.
Crawford's dominant win over Errol Spence left fans buzzing with confidence about his chances against Canelo. That night, he displayed perfect timing, elite adaptability, and a ruthless finishing instinct that cemented his superiority at welterweight. But analysts caution against drawing direct comparisons. Spence, for all his talent, is not a naturally bigger man like Canelo. They point to fighters such as Israil Madrimov, bigger, stronger opponents Crawford has yet to face, as the true test of how his skills translate at higher weights. Meanwhile, Canelo has spent years battling naturally larger men, often giving up size himself and still competing at the highest level. The question remains, can Crawford's brilliance against welterweights carry over when he's in with a physically dominant super middleweight like Canelo?
The biggest things in this Canelo-Crawford fight we are not talking about is the ring size. If these guys are fighting in the non-traditional 18 by 18 ring, you're gonna want to put your money on Canelo, guys. It is a big difference. Losing out on that extra 4 feet is gonna be an issue for Crawford. It's still possible. Crawford's talented, he's athletic. He has all the potential in the world to pull off a crazy upset here. No matter the ring size, it don't matter. Terence Crawford's that brilliant. He's that excellent. But I'm going to tell you, man, losing out on that 4 feet is gonna hurt his odds. It's the same thing with 22 feet. Like I said, I don't know what ring they're going with, but if it is in the 22 feet, it's gonna hurt Canelo's odds by a pretty decent margin. Maybe not as much as it's gonna hurt Crawford odds in the 18, but it's still gonna hurt it. You're giving Crawford an extra 4 feet to pivot, maneuver, slip, bob, weave, do whatever he wants. That's gonna give Canelo some issues. I feel like we're not talking about this enough. I heard Turkey said it was gonna be an 18. That was a really long time ago. Like I said, I don't know if they've confirmed what it's gonna be quite yet, but I think it's interesting. Once we get the official announcement, you guys, that's when you place your bets.
Gabe Rosado reflects on Canelo's loss to Floyd Mayweather, calling it a pivotal chapter in the Mexican star's career. Back then, Canelo was still learning, lacking the experience to solve a defensive master like Floyd. But Rosado argues that the defeat became a blessing in disguise, an invaluable lesson that shaped the fighter Canelo is today. Since that night, Canelo has refined his technique, sharpened his ring IQ, and built the confidence that comes from overcoming every style put in front of him. Rosado believes this evolution makes Alvarez far more dangerous now than he ever was in the Mayweather era. And for Crawford, that means he won't be facing the young, inexperienced Canelo. He'll be standing across from a matured, battle-tested version with the scars and wisdom of a champion forged by defeat.
Hey, y'all, the simple real fact is, Terence Crawford never looked that good fighting anybody but Errol Spence. Another real fact is, y'all put too much on Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford. Y'all act like he just beat fucking Jesus or Thanos or something. Okay, I get it. Errol Spence was that guy. He beat him. He dominated him. He won that fight. But y'all take that and y'all put so much on that fight, but then y'all look at the Madrimov fight and say, he was a tricky fighter. He's hard for anybody. No one can beat Madrimov. He's the second best fighter in the world because he went 12 rounds with Crawford. Not the case. Y'all put too much on the Errol Spence fight and y'all don't put enough on the Madrimov fight. Then we go back to Canelo. Y'all say, Canelo, he don't stop nobody. When last time he knocked nobody? If he can't knock out Berlanga, he's not going to knock out. If he can't knock out him, he's not going to knock out Crawford, bruh. Just like Crawford went up to 54 and he couldn't get a knockout, Canelo has gone up to 75. He couldn't knock out Bivol. He went up to 68. And those guys are way bigger. He's fighting guys way bigger than him. Crawford could knock out Madrimov because he's his size. So you think he gonna knock out Canelo? He's bigger than Canelo. Bro, Canelo got a granite chin. I don't know if y'all know the Canelo. And the only people who saying that Crawford's gonna knock Canelo out is people who has to be casuals. They probably have not watched the fight since the Tank last fight, or they probably ain't watched the fight since the Errol Spence versus Bud Crawford fight. Because I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all niggas didn't even see that Madrimov fight. Y'all just synced it and y'all running with it.
Sebastian Fundora has issued a warning to Crawford, suggesting he may not fully grasp the toll that fighting Canelo could take. Competing at super middleweight, Fundora explains, isn't just about showing up in peak shape, it requires years of adaptation, something Canelo has mastered throughout his career. The Mexican star has built his legacy by consistently battling and beating bigger men in this division, proving his durability against the grind. Crawford, on the other hand, is stepping into this weight class for the very first time. That leap could leave him vulnerable, drained both physically and mentally. According to Fundora, the real story may not just be what happens in the ring, but the aftermath, how much strain Crawford will carry after daring to challenge a man who has made this division his home.
It'd be too soon for Xander, but who knows, man? I mean, who knows?
Yeah, absolutely. Do you feel like Canelo needed more seasoning when he fought Floyd? Or do you think that Floyd just got his number, period?
Yeah, I think no, I think he was very inexperienced when he fought Floyd. You know, he's a different fighter, but see, everybody's different. That fight is what made Canelo become the fighter that he is today. So, you know, that's why boxing, man, is like when they shame guys for losses, it's like, man, you just got to really see how a fighter bounces back from a loss. It's like, because, you know, when Canelo lost to Floyd, there was a lot of things that Canelo learned in that fight that he added to his game. Next thing you know, Canelo started moving his head and his counters got better and his speed, and he understood timing. He understood how to like break guys down differently because he learned that off Floyd. So I think it was a good learning experience for Canelo. And then, you know, I think that kind of fight is gonna help him in the Crawford fight.
Critics often debate the entertainment value of Crawford's style compared to Canelo's. While Crawford is technically brilliant, some argue that his fights don't always deliver the explosive moments that capture casual fans. Canelo, on the other hand, has built his reputation on drama, whether through devastating knockouts, punishing body work, or high-stakes battles. Even if Crawford were to beat Canelo, analysts caution that it wouldn't automatically make him the face of boxing. To reach that level, Crawford would need to chase down and defeat other elite names, fighters like Dmitry Bivol, showing he can conquer bigger, more dangerous opposition. Only then could he step into the same global spotlight that Canelo has long commanded.
Could be. We'll see. We'll see what PBC has for us.
Your favorite, Canelo or Crawford?
Canelo.
Yeah.
What do you think is the most significant part of that matchup in Canelo versus Crawford?
That he's comfortable at 168. You know, that he's been fighting there. He went and collect all the belts at that weight class. Crawford, of course, Crawford has a chance. He has a big chance, you know, being one of the pound-for-pound fighters of the world. But it's just the advantage of being there first. You know what to expect in that weight class. Crawford's coming off a 154 fight that he fought last year. So I really don't consider him even a 154. He's been fighting at 147 for a while. He had that one fight at 154, and then he stopped fighting for a year again. So, you know, of course, he's probably been training, you know, again, high-class fighter. But to be comfortable at 168, you're going to have to do some fights in there. And going in there fighting the undisputed champion, it's going to take a toll.
What about Ennis? He's the new addition to 154. He's yet to fight there. Canelo brought him in camp specifically because he's a switch hitter like Terence Crawford. What do you make of Ennis just not being in your division and then him contributing to Canelo's camp heading into this fight? Is that a good move?
I think it's good for Canelo's camp to have a fighter like Ennis. Because, he likes to switch right-handed, southpaw. I think Canelo probably didn't need that. But, the fact that Ennis went might cause a little bit of drama. I think he did for a dramatic effect. But, great fighter at 147. But 154 is a different division. They have me in there, so we'll see what he could.
Home. Interview 9. Critics often debate the entertainment value of Crawford's style compared to Canelo's. While